Hey, what's going on? What's going on, man? It's your boy Antoine Smitty Sports Machine. Man, like I always say, y'all know how I get down, man. Y'all know how I do it. Before we get started, man, y'all gonna please go ahead and press that subscribe button, press that like button, and we're gonna rock out, man. We're gonna have some fun tonight.
Yes, sir.
We're talking about some very deep topics that a lot of people be trying to push to the side, but we gotta discuss it because trust me, sometimes your next move could be your worst move. Just like the next move could be your best move. So hey, go both ways. But before I get started, man, I got my boy Chris rocking with me tonight. I got a couple of compadres to rock with us, man. Berto is out tonight, man. Has some personal business to take care of, and we're gonna hold it down like we always do. Chris, before we get started, man, I'm gonna introduce our special guests. Y'all know the guy on the left at the bottom with the hat on, Mr. Historian, Mr. Ryan himself from Birdcage LLC, and next to him. And on that side, I hope my pointer that way down at the bottom. That's Mr. Chase. Y'all know him from DFU, Dirty Fanatics United. And we got a special guest tonight, Mr. Bryce. I let him introduce himself because this is actually my first time linking up with him, doing the show with him. So, Bryce, you are our special guest. So please tell everybody a little bit about yourself right quick.
Hey, what's up, guys? Appreciate you guys inviting me onto the show, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, Falcons, Hawks content creator. Got a podcast, Believe in Hawks. If y'all are Hawks fans, y'all can check that out on my YouTube, Brycey_2K. Also do Falcons content as well. So, always good, making connections within the community and being able to talk about our team. And, it's just always good discussion. I'm a big fan of that. And so, like I said, appreciate coming on and we'll have some fun, guys.
No doubt about it. Now, other special guest, man, Mr. Ryan, the historian, man, from Birdcage LLC. Tell everybody what's up, man.
Hey, man, what's going on? You already know how we get down, as we say in the cage. You either get right or you get left. 8 o'clock Thursday night, we definitely do a little something live. Smitty's been in the cage. My guy Chris has been in the cage quite a few times. And like I said, man, I appreciate you inviting me into the house. I owed you a visit, I've been having you come over, eat up all the food and drink up all the Kool-Aid at my spot. So, I got to hook, I got to return the favor.
Can you stop telling my business, though? Because everybody know I love to eat, man. Come on.
But here's the thing, though. The bill is high. Everybody complains, ate up all the bird feed, all the bird seed and everything else. But it's all good, though. We family.
As long as it had cheese on them, good. Chase.
There you go.
Tell everybody what's up.
Cheese on anything. See what I'm talking about? That's what's wrong with you now. We're going to talk after
this. Chase, tell everybody what's up with you, man.
Yes, sir, man. My name's Chase. I rock with Dirty Fanatics United. You're a host over there on that channel. YouTube, TikTok, Facebook groups. You can catch us on any social media platform. We're just a Falcon content creating group that pushes positive content about the Atlanta Falcons. Free giveaways. We always have something going on over there. My boy Smitty, my boy A1's done been on the channel a couple times, so shout out to them. And so if you're new to seeing this face, hit the subscribe button, leave a like, man, and shout out to y'all.
Facts.
Our boy Berto came through, man. He said, fellas, have a great show, man. He said, excuse the capital letters. He wasn't trying to yell at y'all. But
right, man.
Let's see. Y'all know how we do it, man. Get to the chat, man, before we get to the chatter. Yep. But before we get to any of that, Chris, I can't forget you, my dog. Tell the people what's up.
Hey, man. A1 Forever Sports, the show that's cool and fly too, man. I am Chris Tip Moore. Be generational because it's always time to be. And don't you settle for less because you can always have more with the vision. It's not the 3, not the 2, A-U-N-O. You already know what's going on, man. Glad to be up here with this amazing crew tonight, man. Talking this Falcon football. And, of course, A1 Forever Sports, we cater to all Atlanta sports. And we're just a homer at the end of the day, man. And I'm just happy to be up here. Happy to be back in front of the chat, man. Happy to be up here talking this Falcon football. It's still an amazing time to be a Falcon fan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, always a fun time, man. But we got to give a shout out to the chat right quick, man. Mr. John Brooks. Y'all please go check him out on YouTube, man. He said there's a rumor going around, man, from tampering allegations against the Falcons that our Falcons could have to lose multiple first-round draft picks or taken away from them. And one rumor that I've heard and read about is the Falcons possibly losing that number 8 pick to the Minnesota Vikings. And the reason why that is because they got Kirk Cousins, so it'll be like a compensation pick for them. But I don't think that's fair, man. If you're gonna do that, man, just give them another compensation pick anywhere from the 3rd to the 6th round. That's what I say.
Yeah.
But
Who else?
John, thank you for that, man. Ozzy G706 saying you hope it ain't true, and I hope it ain't either. My viewpoint, John Higgins, my dude, Marina, Jason Wollstonecroft Jr. I hope I got that right. I'm bad with names. My boy CFN, Cheese ATL. My boy, Let's Get It GA, man. Y'all please go check him out on YouTube as well. Big gamer content creator. Kevin O'Connor, Greg, formerly known as G, and I still know you as Greg. But Travis Preston, my boy RGATL for life to plug. Keep me up to date on the latest breaking news so I can comment on it and make my videos. So I thank you for that.
Yeah.
Mr. William Amy, Michael Matthews, Todd Ray, Miss Carrie, what's up? Thank you for always coming through for me. I appreciate it. My boy Uncle Steve. And Uncle Steve, if you can jump in on the show, man, I would love it.
Hey,
you better be careful letting Uncle Steve jump, man. You know he got that arthritis in his knees, bro.
Hey, man.
Come on, man.
Steve.
I owe him. No, he came in there talking trash last week, dog. I owe him for that one, but I want my William Andrews shirt for your Uncle Steve. Just to show some love, man. I know that's your favorite
Uncle
player.
Steve got that Bengay and that knee pad right there, right inside of it. 35 P. Douglas Farrington, Fogo the Great, my dude, Mr. Retro G. Appreciate you as always, Albert Molina, Justin Swisher Sweets. Let's see. That's about it. But look, let's get this thing rolling, man. We're gonna talk about these tampering charges right quick. And isn't that good to talk about? But as I was reading, man, you think about it. Possibly losing that number 8 pick, that could send the draft in a whole different direction, man. But if that is true, and then the bad part about it, Kirk Cousins told on himself. If y'all watch the introductory press conference, said he talked to the trainer. It was actually before 4:00, and it just went sideways out there. I didn't think nobody would catch on to it because when I was watching, I said, did he just tell on himself?
Man, listen.
But
I ain't gonna lie, I cringed. I was like, "Ooh!" I said, "You said what?" I promise you, because I was really in tune to what he was going to say. That was one of those interviews. I know I wasn't paying attention to nothing else except for what my new quarterback is saying, and word for word just was like, "Hold on, you said what now?"
Yeah, man, that's oof. Going around the table, man. Give me y'all thoughts on possibly losing that number 8 pick. We'll start with special guest Bryson. We'll go around.
I personally, for me, I don't think our 8th pick is in jeopardy to me. I think that would be a very unprecedented move by the NFL to do something like that. There's been other tampering with other good players, and that's never resulted in that. At best, I see us losing a day 2 pick. Hopefully a 3rd, could be a 2nd. You never know, just because, Kirk Cousins is a big free agent signing, so you don't know if that factors into that decision, whatever that decision ends up being after their investigation is done. But I think that pick is safe. It just sucks losing a pick in general because there are still needs, and obviously we'll see how free agency continues, but there are still needs that need to be filled. And I know we've been doing mock drafts. Many people have been doing mock drafts, trying to, figure out who we're going to take with certain picks. And you never know. Maybe the Calvin Ridley pick might be the pick they take away. We have no idea what that can turn into. So, it sucks that we're even in this situation. And obviously you would expect more from Kirk, like, hey, don't reveal that information publicly yet or at all, really. Right. And keep that behind the scenes. But I guess, I don't know, maybe he was just excited and he said, yeah, I just love talking to everybody. So he just said it. So, but overall, I think we'll keep that pick. It just sucks losing a pick because especially knowing how Terry's been his entire time here, he likes keeping all his resources. He likes having all his assets at his disposal. And if they were thinking about trading up, trading whatever, that might impact that. Now, maybe trading down is an option. Maybe recoup whatever pick you're about to lose.
Agree. And think about this as well. When you look at it, it happened to the Dolphins a couple of years ago when they were interfering with Tom Brady. They ended up getting their first round pick taken. So it wouldn't be unprecedented. It would just be just a Falcon thing, man. They gonna Falcon, go Falcon, as we always say. But that would be, ooh,
Shoot, they took
be out
it,
that money
man.
for a quarterback and lose a first round pick. That would piss me off.
Bro,
completely.
them folks did more than just the first. Them folks hit him with the Jeezy reference. They hit him with the first and the third.
Yes,
Right.
They took all that, and that was because of who? Of course, Stephen Ross and Bruce Beal, and they talking to Tom Brady. They talking to Sean Payton. Both of them still under contract with other teams at that time. That was a different situation at the same time from this one, y'all. It can be misconstrued a little bit, and Cousins did come back and say that, hey, it's a lot going on in free agency. I'm doing a lot. I'm saying a lot. You know, he tried to kind of like back it off of it a little bit, but it's still a different situation. The only problem is because it's a common thing. Well, not necessarily a common thing because it's a gap between 2022 and the time when the Chiefs got caught up with tampering too. But at the same time, it seemed like the punishment is becoming more and more strict, and it's more and more things getting snatched away from teams because let's just be honest, we don't want you to keep tampering, even though we know tampering exists. We know this, but it's whether you get caught. That's the thing. It's whether you get caught. And the punishment is man, the crime, you have the crime right here, and the punishment is way up here. You know, when you really think about it, they're coming down, they're hammering even more. And I hate that the Falcons, some of us may have laughed at the Dolphins back then, but now we have this problem in our hood. And that's what I really hope first round picks don't get taken. But I've seen first round picks. I've seen other guys out there talking about the Falcons, and they're saying, hey, their first round pick should be taken. And, you know, I just don't think it should be at that degree. I really don't.
And I saw a couple of Minnesota fans say that, so of course they're gonna say that because they want the draft pick. But y'all know how that rock. And I also think, if I'm not mistaken, they got $1 million fine, which is unprecedented, which is really unprecedented.
Yeah,
that was crazy. But Ryan, man, give me your thoughts right quick.
Well, I have to say, man, it kind of takes me back to my schooling days or whatnot. You look at it, it's just like the U.S. right now. You got 3 levels of government. When you talk about it, man, you got your state, your local, and you got your national. Or we can break it down to where you say you've got your judicial branch, executive branch, and your legislative branch. Right now, we're in the judicial part, pretty much. We're in the lower federal courts. You know, we're one of these teams that have always been on the outside looking in, and we've never really had a chance to really have something special come to the city. And if you look at everything, a lot of people aren't happy with it. You know, I told you a long time ago, I wanted the opposite. I didn't want Kirk coming, but you know what? I'm all in as you see what's behind me.
Oh yeah,
but I'm all in because he wearing this right here, logo business. But at the end of the day, I look at it like this. They're gonna drop the hammer on this right here. You look at what's been coming around in Atlanta, you look at the moves that have been made. It might not look major to a lot of people, but if you look at it, we've become more and more in the media, and not on the negative side, on the positive side. Relevant. And it's scaring a lot of teams out here that one of the worst franchises now is getting ready to start turning around. It looks good on paper, but once we get it off paper, let's see what it looks like on the field. Because if Atlanta come out kicking ass, it's going to hurt feelings, because right now, this is the chance where you better get him wise early, because Raheem understands what he's doing. He understands that he's going to be on a short leash. He understands that. So most people don't realize this is the reason why they went and got Kirk. Now, Kirk probably was excited, as my guy said at the top. You know, it was just one of those things where you get excited and you start spitting information. But I go back to my military days. The less you say, the better off you are, because who pays attention to the Falcons? Oh, they just gonna Falcon. Who pays attention to what we do? Honestly. And when they brought in Kirk Cousins, it pissed off a lot of organizations, because you got the number 3 rated quarterback in the league to come to your team really for peanuts. Everybody says 180 mil is a lot, but you get him to come
not with Patrick Mahomes making $60 million. That ain't nothing.
Well, Pat Mahomes also owns half of the Kansas City Royals too. That's where he put a lot of his money. But I'm just saying, with Kirk Cousins taking literally 180 mil, 90 guaranteed, that's really chump change compared to what a lot of these dudes are making. And because of his status and his name, that's probably what they're gonna try to hit us with. I don't think they'll take the first round away from us, but I think they'll probably try to hit us in the areas where we actually excel. Because when do we really excel in the first round in draft?
No, we
Third,
day 2,
fourth,
day
and
3
fifth.
guys.
Exactly.
Normally.
So
Yeah.
they're going to hit us where it hurts. That's just my opinion on it. If they do hit us.
Yeah. That's true. And to be honest, it's going to be key because I think if they end up taking that third rounder that we got from Jacksonville, or our third rounder, I think that will force the Falcons to trade back, you try to get that pick back. So we can look at it that way. So I mean, even if they do take it, I think we still have the firepower to move back and get another pick and still get the person that we want. So not all is not lost. This is just a mistake that anybody can make. Now, should he have said it? No. But at the heat of the battle, when you talk to the media, anything that pop in your head is just gonna come out, and that's what anybody talking. But that's just life sometimes. But Chase, man, give me your thoughts right now.
Yeah, so I mean, I could go off what each one of you guys said. You think about losing the number 8 pick, like you all said. This is a spot that we need. This is a spot where we are potentially going for Dallas Turner at number 8, maybe another Malik Neighbors, a potential target at number 8 for the offense. You look at all of the situations that you could do at 8. To lose the number 8 pick over a tampering period, over Kirk Cousins speaking to the medical training staff, to me is absurd. I know it could very well happen, though. I think the NFL is coming down hard on this because I think it's kind of a slap in the face. The NFL gives you a legal tampering period date, and you still can't seem to keep it under the wrap that you're talking to a quarterback before. I think before you even come to the podium, Kirk and Atlanta should have had some conversation about this backstage when they came to their agreements. This is definitely something that shouldn't have been talked about. There's a difference when it comes to talking to players and talking to staff. Though to me, what really drew people in was when Kirk Cousins made the comment about Ryan Pace, the former GM for the Bears. That situation there, man, you mentioned big names like Ryan Pace, that draws names itself. Like you guys were saying, maybe you lose the third round pick that you get from Jacksonville. That's your best case scenario in the situation. But I definitely think the NFL is going to have something to say about this. And as well as with the Eagles, with their former coach saying, coaching Shaquan back in college, and speaking about that, they're just as under wraps as we are with this whole tampering period. So I think the NFL has something to prove here. And I think it's a little silly, but I think it's something that we're going to maybe regret in the long run.
Right. I got another thing that just popped in my head, just about your point, what you just said, Chase, about the Falcons and the Eagles. They're both under investigation. Well, the Falcons and the Eagles are also in reports about possibly a trade about Hassan Reddick.
Yep. Reddick.
Do you guys feel like because both teams are in these tampering allegations, does that hinder, hamper, stall any kind of talks with a trade, because you don't know exactly what picks you're about to lose?
Both teams have already declined to even speak to the media about the situation. That there tells me that the Atlanta Falcons know that there's been something proven, and they're not going to speak about it until it becomes local news. So I definitely look for something in the next week or so. We'll definitely know something about this. But to lose the number 8 draft pick,
I tell you that.
To lose the number 8 pick.
That would be crushing. To lose number 8, that would be crushing. Because I don't think everything that you were planning on doing, everything.
Well, I got something for you. I'm not gonna be a wet blanket. I'm sorry, Smitty. I'm sorry. I'm just saying I'm not gonna be a wet blanket. Yeah, you're right. Something did pop in my head, like you said. I'm not gonna be a wet blanket. Okay, it sucks to lose that pick. We are gonna be pissed off about it. Again, and I'm gonna state this, and I stand 10 toes down on this. If you don't get these big name dudes that you want, I'm going to continue to say this, and I'm going to advocate for it.
I already know where you're going.
Undrafted free agency, you got guys that's not going to get picked up that should be drafted, and one of the places you need to start looking, go to these HBCUs where you got players, because you have 10 of the top players that could literally start anywhere. Because if you look at it, the offensive tackle that's at North Carolina A&T right now, he transferred from West Virginia and went to A&T. And became all conference. You want to look for Jake Matthews replacement you can get for pennies off the dollar? There you go. You got the cornerback out of Virginia State that you can go grab as well. And then you have a local kid. Everybody keeps saying Dallas Turner. I'm going to tell you this here. If you don't get Jared Verse and get off that
he's
kick,
a solid pick.
Dallas Turner, let's just be real. No knock on him. Dallas Turner was not eating after Will Andrews left. Let's keep that a buck. His numbers dropped significantly. Everybody's buying into that narrative that ESPN is putting out. Here's my thing, ladies and gentlemen. Please do research on some of these kids that are coming out of school that you're hearing about, because a lot of your top players that come to Atlanta in the first round, they never pan out. It's a few who do, but majority of your top players do not ever pan out. And it's a kid at Grambling right now, right from out of the College Park area. And he balled out there. That is a guy who literally is just like Zach Harrison. The only difference is he plays at a smaller school. So if you lose your top picks, you have options. And Smitty is what we always talk about in the cage. And I've told you, have your scouting department always have other options when you actually scout. Don't just look at the cameras. Go to these smaller schools and look at guys that are coming out. That's all.
I agree 100% with you. I just think when it comes to Dallas Turner, you got to look at the numbers. He come from Alabama, SEC school, still putting up 10 sacks without Will Anderson. Dominated Georgia in the SEC championship game. Dallas Turner, you mentioned Jared Verse, another solid name there. You can look at Latua, a guy that's got connection with Jimmy Lake as well. Somebody that you can probably get at number 13 or 14. Yeah, so there's definitely options in this draft. This is a deep draft. Even Sweat in the second round from Texas, defensive tackle. A nice pick there.
Yeah. Don't forget Robinson out of Missouri now coming off the edge.
Darius Robinson will be a perfect 3-4.
Darius Robinson is a monster.
Yeah.
Nice picks. Nice picks.
He may slide in the first. You never know.
You talk about HBCUs, Ryan. We had one on the team in D. Offord. Went to Tusculum, ended up in the CFL.
Exactly.
Terry Fontenot did his homework, went up there and got him, and he's been an impact player ever since he's been here. And don't never forget that. Terry Fontenot is always looking north of the border, and a lot of people don't give him credit for that. He's found some gems up there. And trust me, he's cooking right now. And if he can find one now, he gonna bring it in.
Wasn't Caden Ellis
your greatest pass rusher in Falcons history is not John Abraham. Right. It's a man by the name of Claude Humphrey who came out of Tennessee State University. Yeah. One of your best safeties that came out back in the day came out of Norfolk State back in the 70s with that grits blitz defense. And I mean, when you look at it, it's so many great players that come out of that level. I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan, SEC guy, but I'm always gonna advocate for HBCUs, because without HBCUs, these Alabamas, these Georgias, and all these schools, they had to steal from these HBCUs to get their programs where they are, ladies and gentlemen. Yep. And that's the reason. Just think about this: HBCUs used to look just like the SEC used to look back in the day.
Oh yeah. Jackson State was one of the main teams.
Tennessee State, Jackson State, Southern, Grambling, and FAMU.
Claude Humphrey, Deacon Jones. Think about that.
Walter Payton, Jackson State,
Mississippi Valley. Yeah.
And another guy that we also got a private workout with is a guy from Georgia State, offensive tackle Travis Glover. And that we're having a private workout with that guy, and that could be another guy that you get later on in the rounds, man, because we're gonna need somebody to protect Kirk Cousins. Okay.
Yep.
Regardless of what people are saying about offense, I understand about the offense. Hell, I want offense. I like scoring points, but same time, you still got Jake Matthews on one side, Caleb McGarry on the other one. Ask Kirk, does he like that?
Yep.
Yeah, because we got to think about it.
The turnstile with Jake Matthews, man. You know, you start in trouble with not Jake Matthews. I'm sorry, with McGarry. I'm sorry, with McGarry. I apologize. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I mean Caleb McGarry. That is an East. Hey, that's a College Park train station turnstile to me, bro.
You got to think about it too. Kurt, last 2 seasons we had mobile quarterbacks. Kurt ain't mobile. Yep. Exactly. He's basically he manipulates in the pocket. Outside of that, that's the best you're getting from him. So you got a sitting duck back there. You got to make sure that you can protect him, because there were games last year where the offensive line got overwhelmed. So if now, obviously, I think our interior is probably our strength of our offensive line, but the question is going to be them tackles, the blind side, and Caleb McGarry. Can they hold up? Because like I said, Kurt's not going to be able to run out of there and make plays with his legs. So you got to keep that in mind.
And the other thing,
I got a question, man. Alberto got a question for us. He said, "Do y'all think Raheem Morris will take a chapter out of the Rams book and go for all big names instead of draft picks? What y'all think?
I think that you want to go first.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead, brother.
Go ahead, Bryce.
Yes.
So I think that is a possibility. Now, obviously, when you go with that, then you have to also face what the Rams face. You probably are going to have a down year because you selling everything, so you ain't gonna have all this projected talent down the line to be able to step in whenever guys get hurt or people get older and things like that. Now, luckily, they only were down for like a year and they were able to bounce back. That just shows the type of organization they run, how they're able to fix their problems. But it's something they definitely could do. But at the same time, they have built this team on a lot of talent and developing, like you said, D. Alford, and even Nate Landman, you can even say developed here. He had a really strong season for us. You got to think about guys. Zach had a good showing at the end of the year. They're still developing Arnold. They're still Grady when he was a 5th round pick. Like a lot of this team, I think, is built from the draft pick. So I think you get your free agent big names like you did with Kurt. You got with Jesse Bates last year. You want to hit on those guys, make sure they're worth their contracts, and then you continue to build through the draft because at the end of the day, salary cap, you got to think about it. You got to think about the future coming up. Drake gonna get paid. Kyle's contract negotiations are coming up. Other guys could potentially be in that too. AJ still, we're trying to figure out what we're going to do with AJ's contract. So, that's one of the reasons why, just from what they've done, I don't see that. I don't think they're going to go that route. I think if the Falcons were let's say Falcons were like I don't know, like 9-2 by the time their bye week, or like not even 9-2, like 6-2 by the time the trade deadline came or something. Yeah. Then you might swing for the fences. That's what the Rams did. They swung for the fences. We were like, oh, wait, we think we can make the Super Bowl this year for sure because we're playing like it. Let's shore up that one last hole we think we have and then make a run. You may not see it now, but you may see it in season, depending on how the season goes.
Facts.
Ryan, this was one of my sleepers right here. I'm glad you brought that up. Marcus Rosen, Jack Saint in Georgia. This dude has a prototypical frame for an NFL receiver.
Yep.
You talk about a guy that can beat you downfield. He doesn't have sprinter speed, but he has sneaky deceptive speed, has great hands, always contest catches, and I think he's going to be a great receiver for somebody. And I hope the Falcons give him a shot.
Well, the thing that took away from his speed, because before, if anybody is a Dog fan or his first time he touched the ball and he scored, and that was against the Florida Gators in 2020. He broke his ankle in that game where it was a very ugly break. Leg flopped over, and we didn't know how he was going to come back. Came back, solid speed, lost a lot of the speed that he had because he was a 4.3, 4.4 guy when he first got to Georgia.
4.4.
He was 4. They clocked him at 4.3 when he came out of St. Thomas Aquinas. That's the same school that produced Michael Irvin too, by the way. But this kid, the main thing that he does well, and he'll probably do better than most, he can block. Very physical, very physical specimen. And he does not mind going over the middle and making the tough catches. And we've seen him take some vicious shots from some guys that are going to be playing on Sundays, and he still held on to the rock. So, Caleb Downs, who's going to probably end up being a first-round pick out of, that's at Ohio State now, that was at Alabama, took a nice shot on him. He got up and smiled at him and said, okay, keep coming. So we need that type of dog-type mentality in this wide receiver room where you're going to have sure hands catching the ball.
Yep.
And he's a good route runner too. That's something else that he has that people don't really look at.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
he
should
probably
to an NFL team in need, such as the Atlanta Falcons. I know I just actually did a mock draft today, and it's so funny that y'all guys bringing up this name because I did a little willing and dealing, and I ended up getting Rosemary Jack Saint. So it's just I'll take it, man. I really would take it because, like you said, cut across the middle. Something that you need, somebody that can break that zone, man. I'll take it, man. Sure hands. Like that's the thing that I want the most out of a receiver, other than just being a dog. That sure hands. I need somebody who's going to catch the ball because dropping passes that just stalls drives, throws off rhythm, timing, etc., and just makes the fans upset as well. So, I don't want to do that.
Agreed. But
Yeah,
the main
man.
thing-
He's 6'1", 195. They have him
Mhm.
clocked on NFL Buzz at 4'8", but that's wrong. I know he's a 4'4" at least. So
Smitty,
hey,
we need a center.
happens.
You talking about protecting? We talking about protecting. We bringing weapons in. That's not a problem. But the
Mhm.
question is this, and this is for everybody in the panel. When are we gonna bring in a true center? When we really need that, because the past 3 years under Arthur Smith, 2 of those years, those snaps were on the ground. Those snaps were fumbled. Now Desmond had 17 turnovers. 6 of those were on Hendall, who was snapping the ball at one point, and Dalman. So all I'm saying is, when are we actually going to get a true center, a guy that is not converted from the guard position, a guy that has played center his whole time in college?
Well, it was a center, Mitch Morse, Buffalo. I just
Yeah.
knew that they would take a look at that kid, man, but he ended up going elsewhere. So he actually got picked up 2 days later. So
Yeah,
I mean,
he was not that long.
Jacksonville actually needed that though.
Oh yeah, they did.
They struggled.
Yeah.
They struggled like we did with snaps. That's the problem.
Shoot, man, we need it just like they do, though. At the end of the day, that's where we're going to end up making our ends meet as far as getting a guy that by the caliber of a center. I think that's going to have to be something like how we did with Alex Mack. We're going to have to trade for him. A guy's going to have to want out, and we're going to have the cap space for him, something like that. I don't foresee the Falcons anytime soon. Well, I can say that for this draft, I don't see them drafting a center. I can see, it's in a tackle, something like that, because that's something you're definitely going to need to protect Kurt's blind side, and possibly maybe move Jake either to the right side, off the team, whatever they end up doing. Of course, we're not in the front office, but a center, I think we're going to end up having to make an Alex Mack type move and going to go get somebody like that, man. I think that's what's going to have to happen.
And I could see them going Joe Alt at number 8 if he's there.
Yes,
He
sir.
just can't pass up that kind of talent. But I honestly don't think he makes it past Tennessee right in front of us. So if the Falcons want to go get that offensive lineman of the future, I think he's the guy. But you have to probably jump up to 4 or 5 to go get him because he could go to New York. They've had line troubles as well. They do have Andrew Thomas, but at the same time, Evan Neal hasn't been that guy. And I think they just signed another offensive lineman, a superstar offensive lineman. But Joe, 6'9", 325, you just can't pass that up. No way, no how. But shout out to We Talk Hawks TV, man. Thank you for the donation.
Shout out, brother.
Truly appreciate
Shout
it,
out.
man. Demond, y'all do great work over there, man. If y'all want to talk Atlanta Hawks basketball, please go to We Talk Hawks TV on YouTube. They do their thing daily. Post game, pre-game, videos about what's going on. So please go check them out, man. Todd had another point that he wanted to that he had, and Todd, thank you for tuning in. He said Kurt ain't elite, and I would not say that.
We
either.
never said he was elite.
But he's an improvement, which I agree with. But we
just said we was all in. We never said he was elite.
We saying he repping the logo.
Yo, that's logo
he
business.
repping the logo. I was team young guy. I was team Jaden Daniels until it just all the way into the very end to where it was like, all right, there's no chance that that's happening at all. What I'm saying? That's with me. But we have Kirk Cousins here, so that's where we're going to have to go with it.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys too.
Like I said, man, the more I think about it, and I've said this before, and y'all were there when I said it. We tried that mobile thing 2 years in a row, and it did not work. So guess what? We got to go back to the pocket passer because guess what? Those weapons got to get the football. If you got a pocket pass out there, he doesn't process the field as well. He doesn't anticipate throws as well. He misses more throws than he hits. So guess what? When he's going to take down and run, that's going to lower the numbers of those other players. So what do? Go get a guy that can spread the ball around. So it's no knock against anybody. But when you try something for so long and it just does not work, you got to switch it up. I would rather go back to the Matt Ryan style anyway, a pocket passing quarterback. Guess why? Because they process different. And that's what you need. That's going to help a young offensive coordinator, Zach Robinson. That's going to help those young players become cohesive and learn how to feed off each other on the football field. So, hey, you just got to start thinking like that. If you want a Super Bowl, you got to think like that. So that's what it's about when winning Super Bowl. The team has to gel. Let's keep it real.
Hey man, hey, look, no one said Kurt was elite. He's an upgrade, but we all know the history because Matt Ryan wasn't that great in the playoffs when he first started off. But Kurt's been in the league for a minute. But let's just call it for what it is, dog. We know he been in the playoffs like a 78 Eldorado off of Fast Street. Let's call it for what it is. He been corners like that. So hopefully
you ain't right, man.
He doesn't be in the corner like that. Hopefully he can keep going straight and get us to a playoff win. I got to call you, Smitty. I got to call a spade, dog. He's here. We know his history. But we got to ride with him because he's a great seasoned quarterback. We just need that to translate into the postseason. If he can play like he does in the season, in the postseason, I think we actually have a shot to make a little noise. I'm not saying win the Super Bowl.
It's the same system he was in Minnesota. Yeah. So
and fellas, what's also just an underlining thing that I believe is underrated, the fact that Zach Robinson is a first year, he's running the show by himself coordinator. Bringing in a Kirk Cousins will help Zach Robinson, a young coordinator who is looking to prove himself in the National Football League. I think that is so underrated, and not enough people are talking about it. But you need that. You need that. He's a young signal caller, and you have a guy who's running this system, running this offense, who can help him on the field and off the field.
Facts.
It's just elementary, man. I got a question before we move on to grades. I know we still got to move on to grades, but
yeah, we got a while, man.
How do you guys feel about the whole thing about no Falcons were at the pro day of Dallas Turner? Now we do have a private meeting coming up with them. Do you guys feel like there was no point of going because we have that private meeting, or is it more into it? What you guys think about that?
Bryce, you started off.
I don't look really too deep into it, man. Like, I think the thing is everybody evaluates players differently. Everybody goes about their process differently. Some players you gonna go attend it. I mean, we had a big group at Spencer Rattler's last week. I live in South Carolina, so obviously they're like, yeah, we had a bunch of Falcon scouts out there. But at the same time, just because they don't have somebody at Dallas Turner doesn't mean they haven't looked at their film. They haven't talked to Alabama coaches. They haven't been doing their due diligence. They're still scheduling a private meeting. So clearly that shows interest. I feel like private meetings are, all right, we're zoning in on you as somebody that's like, yeah, we would target you in this range. And that's why you sometimes hear players afterwards say, yeah, they said if I was available here, so-and-so, they take me. So I'm not really looking at it too deeply. Like I said, they have an interesting situation. They have 3 potential defensive ends they could take. Obviously, they're switching to a 3-4, so you want to find someone who fits that scheme. You want to find somebody who fits what you want to do and that you think can translate. And Jimmy Lake's going to have a big part of that discussion, and Terry and them are going to sit down. Raheem, he's a defensive mind, so you'll have 3 people talking about, okay, what's the best fit for our team? And so I just look at this as them doing their due diligence, because at the end of the day, I mean, you really, you don't have to go to these pro days and stuff to know if you like a guy. Because the biggest thing you want to
watch film already.
You watch film, ask questions, and get information from them directly. The pro day is just there if you just maybe, I wonder what his 40 time would be at his place. I wonder how he would do it with his people. And that maybe is maybe for receivers and quarterbacks. So really outside of that, you're pretty much just, trying to get the last final things out that you want to know about a player. And so I think that there's not too much there.
Yeah, Chase, go ahead.
Yeah, man, I agree with what he said, man. I mean, you got to look at what Dallas Turner did throughout his whole college career. You obviously have scouts scouting him for 3 to 4 years past time since he's been in the league. I don't think it's too big of an issue. I think you obviously scheduled the meeting to meet up with the guy for a reason, like you said, obviously already. They're just doing the due diligence. They're going to talk to everybody. They'll probably talk to Jared Verse, probably meet up with Latua, a couple other big name tackles. You could look at Joe Alt as well. That's probably another person they schedule with. Maybe even some receivers you see scheduling, even though a receiver may not even be on the top 15 of their board. But I think that's something you'll probably see in the next couple of weeks of people that's scheduled to come here to Atlanta and meet.
Facts. Tar, he on it tonight. He said, "Why did we get Baker Mayfield?" Easy answer. He signed right before the new league year, which means Tampa Bay still has rights, so they were going to get first shot at him. So they gave him a contract he was comfortable with, and he just stayed there. But had he hit free agency, this
That's
thing
why Mike Evans
to
came
Atlanta
back.
may have went another direction because I
Man,
think Baker Mayfield, he could have been an Atlanta Falcon quarterback. And if y'all been watching my channel 2 years ago, I told y'all he probably would have been a better fit than what they had here already. So, Todd, great question, man. But thank you for those questions. We appreciate it. Shout out to our boy Big Low Cuffum, aka Big Low Country, man. Y'all please go check him out, man.
yes, sir.
YouTube.
What in the world, Bo?
What's going
He
on,
doing his
man?
thing, man. He almost to 5,000 subscribers, man. So y'all please go
Wow.
over to Big Low Country Sports and subscribe, man. Help him get up to that 5K range, man. He might give y'all one of the world Bo t-shirts, man.
You never know,
So,
man.
Think about it. But before we get into the grades, anybody in the panel got another question they want to throw out?
Nah, I got something. Not a question, but I got something for you that a lot of people aren't thinking about right now. There's a defensive end that we could actually get who's been groomed, and it's not a sexy pick, but he actually could come in here and blow everything up and be probably one of the best picks that we can get. And
I think I know where you're going with that.
It's Caden Ellis's little brother, Jonah Ellis, out of Utah.
I knew you were going to say that.
It's him,
Yeah.
and it's one more guy that I'm gonna throw out there for you. And I would actually, and I've watched him play quietly, very, very big guy. Definitely got a quick first step and got a mean streak, and he's very stout on the run game. Can get a little bit better with his footwork, but he's very powerful and can shed blockers. Out of Auburn University, a guy by the name of Marcus Harris. He goes about 6'2", 286 pounds, and he definitely is about a biscuit or two away from 300, but he can move. So you got two guys that you could bring in that can push a biscuit off of a plate, because the stuff that we've had here has been bad the past couple of years. You know, Zoe Carter's at the end of his rope, and then, you know, no disrespect to Bud Dupree, home state guy, but Bud just wasn't the same Bud that he was in Tennessee and Pittsburgh. Just wasn't. Yeah. So when we look at it, these are young guys that you can go get. If you can't get Chop Robinson or any of these top defensive ends that we're talking about garnering a pass rush, just know that Ellis boy was trained well. Dad is a coach out there. He, you know, one thing you know about
I
guys
actually watched
that come
his
out
dad in Detroit because his dad played with my cousin in Detroit. So
exactly,
I know him quite well.
So here's the thing: if you can get a guy that's been groomed in the NFL system, because most people overlook them boys that come out of Utah. Now, I'm not a West Coast dude like that, but I'm a student of the game. Think about it. Tyler Algier was one of the top running backs in the country, and everybody crapped on him when he came in. And most people didn't know that he played linebacker as a true freshman before he went to play running back. Yep. And he led. Think about it. You got Alabama running back. I'm sorry.
4 of my drafts in the same spot.
Thank you. Think about it. You got Georgia that's running back you got Bama that's behind us, USC, all these schools that traditionally put out running backs, and you see who's been productive. He's been productive since he's been in the league. Yep. You know, just like they did with the promo. I hated that they left him out of the promo for the offense. Now I edited and put him in there, but you leave Tyler Algier out to promote Bijan Robinson, but Tyler had a better year. Yeah. And he broke the man on my shirt, William Andrews, 40-year-old record in this franchise on less carries and shared the ball in the backfield. Like it's sad that we piss away and don't really scout kids coming out of college. Like the scouting department's just got to get better, man. That's just my opinion, dog.
That's all. Everybody got to step their game up.
Apostle Vincent B. Irvin, appreciate the donation, my brother. I can use that $5.99 to go get a pack of mints. But
pack of mints.
That's a one name I want y'all to go look at. Brendan Jackson, Washington State Cougars. You talk about a guy that can get after the quarterback. His rush percentage is stupid. And he's about 6'4", about 275. So he's a prototypical 3-4 end. So if you go look at a guy like that on day 3, probably 6-7 round, and he may go undrafted. But there's definitely one guy y'all got to go check out. And I've watched him 3 games. I watched him against the Washington Huskies. He had disrupted run the whole game. So
it's a disruptor for sure.
when y'all dig deep into these teams and deep into these players, you will find gems. And like Ryan said, you remember Grady Jarrett, 5th round pick, Travis Hall, 5th round pick. We can just go on and on and on. Jesse Tucker,
Jesse Tucker
was undrafted.
So just think about that, man. And then we had a guy here a couple years ago, Dorian Etheridge, undrafted.
Yeah.
If he tore his ACL, he probably would still be on this team. So,
facts. I think so as
just
well.
Got to do your research, man. But anybody else got a question before we move on to grades?
Oh yeah, I got something for you. All right, I'm just waiting in the wings. We got a special guest up here today. A couple special guests, coming to the 95 North Sports Machine forever. So I want to know, Mr. Bryce, you keeping that 8th overall pick, or you trading back, or are you making a surprising move and trading up for a player?
It's an interesting question. It really just depends on who we really want. I'd say I'll keep the pick, but I know there may be some teams that want to trade up because people may want JJ McCarthy and maybe he drops. Obviously, we're hearing all types of rumors where he might go. So I could definitely see if you get a really good deal for sure. Trading back, would not be mad at it at all, as long as you're still within the range of getting a player that you really want. You don't want to trade yourself out of a player and now you're having to maybe reverse course or whatever like that. So I'd stay at the pick, but definitely would keep my ear to calls. Definitely make calls to other GMs to see what are y'all, who wants to trade up, what are y'all willing to give up, and then if I get a deal I want, sure, I'll make the deal.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about, man. Hey, look, I'm telling y'all right now, I'm sticking to my guns from what I said 3 months ago. If Marvin Harrison fall past number 4, you got to go up the board and get it. I'm sorry. I mean, come on, man. If you get a guy like that, I don't even care if he did a pro day. I don't care if he didn't do the combine. You know what you're getting, you know what he brings to the table. If he gets down to San Diego and San Diego is picking, you got to pick up that phone, man. I know we need edge rushers, but what did we just tell y'all? It's edge rushers in this draft. It's a guy up in Washington who Jimmy Lake coached just last year. Braden Trace, who was in the 2nd round.
Who I believe the Falcons are eyeing. I believe the Falcons are eyeing him, and I believe they're eyeing Latu just because. And shout out to Jack Spade, shout out to the brother. But Jimmy Lake has not been rewarded yet. Only thing he has is Kentavious Street and Nate Lamon. You haven't really given him anything. The man has to eventually get something, and I believe the draft is where he's going to end up getting his something. But for me, if I had that 8th overall pick, of course, there's only one offensive player that I would like to take, and he's not even a wide receiver. But I know that he's not going to drop that low either. And that's, of course, the same guy that I've been catering for, and that's Jaden Daniels. He's not going to be at 8. And that's the only guy
that I'm making it past 2. I'm gonna just keep it.
Yeah, he's not. And that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I had to dial all that back about when they start trading off their quarterbacks for little to nothing. I was like, okay, he's definitely gonna be a top 3 pick. I gotta leave that alone. But I said all that. You said what now?
No, I was saying I can't call it. You've been champion for Daniels forever, dog. I can't call it with that one because Caleb Williams don't want to go to Chicago. He's already made that.
And that's why I think Washington may trade up to that number 1 spot because you got to think about it. They only got 4 picks in the draft, so they got to trade somewhere. Either it's number 1 or it's going to be number 9, one or the other.
So do you think? So here's a question because Chris Tip know I've been championing this for the longest, and I'm still championing it. You got Kirk Cousins in the room. Okay, you got Taylor Heineke. They're keeping him right now because they don't want to take any more cap hits with money. But here's my thing. Why not build up that quarterback room? Because we don't know how Cousins is going to be. We already know Heineke ain't worth 2 dead flies smashed. We know this. But I think I'll keep saying it. If you're going to bring in a guy, now my man down here at the bottom said Spencer Rattler, but I'm going to keep championing this. Go get Jaden Daniels for the low. Let him heal up. That is a former Heisman Trophy candidate. I'm sorry. And here's my thing. you can go ahead and get the kid out of Florida State. I've been saying this for the longest at quarterback. Let him heal
third,
up.
fourth round. Yeah, no doubt.
Get him in the third or fourth round. Let him sit. Let that ankle get 100%. Let him learn the system. Let him just sit and chill because he's already personable. He's already intelligent. But if you don't go get him, you go get Michael Pratt out of Tulane and let him sit. That's another killer.
That's a dog. That's a dog in Tulane. That's a dog.
See, I'm gonna keep it real though, Ryan. I'm gonna keep it real. I like Spencer Rattler myself.
I don't dislike him, but I can't trust him because.
But this is what he brings to the table now. When we were talking about Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, and all those guys, who was the guy before them? Spencer Rattler. Guess what? Yeah. When he got hurt, Caleb Williams took his spot at Oklahoma and ended up transferring to
hold up. He didn't get hurt. Stop telling that lie. Now, I don't say that too often. What happened was anybody that was watching that Oklahoma and Texas game, Oklahoma was getting their ass handed to them by Texas. And Bijan Robinson was on that team his senior year before we drafted him. Caleb Williams came off the bench. Steve Sarkisian, I'm sorry, not Steve Sarkisian. What's my guy's name?
Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln Riley pulled a Nick Saban. He benched Spencer Rattler at halftime and brought in Caleb Williams, and Caleb Williams lit Texas' defense up. And that was the first time they had been down in the series like that. Or it was more than 21 points, and he brings them back, and they win the game at the end.
27-3, I think. Yeah, 24-3.
And just think about it. This kid brought him back. Spencer Rattler was dejected after that. He had to leave and go to South Carolina because he wasn't going to get to play. And after he leaves,
that's when red shirt freshman season, people had him as the next number one quarterback, had him as the next Heisman Trophy winner. But he fell off after that and was never the same.
Now the problem is this: Rattler's got all the tools to be a good quarterback. Strong arm. He'll get out of trouble when he needs to, but the issue is he turns over the ball like Desmond Ridder does. Let's just be real. If y'all really want to get technical, he turns over the ball like Desmond Ridder. And we literally just got over from Mr. Peach turnover. We getting that up out of here. We got that up out of here.
Triple double,
baby. Saying, we got him up out of here. My thing is, if he comes, I think he could be groomed because he's not going to be rushed. But I'm going to take Jordan Travis, Michael Pratt, and my dark horse, if you get him as an undrafted free agent, I'm standing on it. Jeremy Moose out of FAMU.
Yep.
I'm standing on it.
Going. Yep.
Him or Darius Rickers out of North Carolina Central. So you got two guys that could have started at D1 schools. They chose to go to HBCUs because, hey, they wanted the opportunity to start right off the bat. And both of those guys were Walter Payton Man of the Year awards, which pretty much that's the HBCU Heisman. They were both nominated for that. So you got guys that can ball that you would bring in that could be groomed in that system, and they fit what we do.
Right. And man, Marvin Harrison.
Mr. Vincent, let me tell you, we've been saying Falcons Super Bowl contender for the last 2 weeks. I've been bold enough to say it because, like I said, they say we're a quarterback away, and I say that too. But we're only really 2 defenders away from being a Super Bowl team. We get another corner to go besides AJ Terrell, and we get that solidified pass rush to scare the hell out of offensive coordinator that night. If we get that, we good to go. We already have a ball hawking safety back there. We already have AJ on one side locking it down. We have 2 linebackers. One can get up to the quarterback, and the other one hit you with the hit stick. So we almost there, and we get one of our best players ever in Grady Jerry back this year. So
we're definitely in win now mode. We're in win now mode for sure. We have to get a Super Bowl within this window of having Kirk Cousins. And another reason why he came down here is the possibility of retiring as a Falcon, something that he didn't feel that love back in Minnesota. And something it came out of that man's mouth. Viking fans said it was year thing. But talking to the Falcons, he's like, he feel like this is a place he could possibly retire. And I believe so, as long as he does what he's supposed to do, man. And so we're gonna get into these grades in a minute too. But Marvin Harrison, I would love to have him. Guys, man, we gotta either go get the quarterback.
In the chat say the Chargers would trade if he fails. So if you feel like the Chargers not gonna trade him, you jump up with the Cardinals and make that deal because they gonna trade back. Either it's with Atlanta or Minnesota or Denver or somebody. they gonna trade back because they need the picks. It's
They
just
do.
that simple. But
I've seen
Big
Mark
Low Country
Cash
Sports,
empty
man,
them
thank you for
up.
the donation. And yeah, we're
Shout
gonna
out
keep
to
them
brother.
our biscuits, man. All we need is steak and gravy, bro.
I was trying to tell you that white gravy too. Woo! Stop playing with me.
I like Joe Milton's arm, but
He
I
couldn't
just
hit the
think he
broadside
got
of
too
a
much
barn.
technical stuff to go
Shit.
along with that problem, man. And he'll take a while to get up to NFL speed, man. There's no disrespect to him, but I
Nah,
think he'd be better as a wide receiver in the NFL. I'm gonna just keep it real. And no, my
he
name is
doesn't.
not Bill Polian, but I think he would be a great wide receiver in the league.
Hey, man, he may be maybe the next Muhammad Sanu.
Man,
Who knows?
Sanu was
knows?
actually accurate if you go back to his Rutgers days
At
at
Rutgers?
quarterback. He was
Oh, yeah.
actually really
Yeah,
accurate.
I mean,
He's a pretty good
yeah,
quarterback.
man, maybe a future
but-
for him somewhere,
But
man.
here's the problem with Milton, though. He couldn't throw a beach ball into the ocean, my guy. Seriously, if he was standing on the back of the fantail of a ship, fantail is the back of the ship, ladies and
Back of the
gentlemen.
ship.
Oh, man.
That's my military days coming out when I started talking like that. But he couldn't even
Man, you
throw a
wrong.
beach ball into the ocean. Why do you think he lost his job to Hooker when he
Oh,
came
man.
in? Because Hooker was a transfer
He's gonna have
out
to
of
kick it.
VTech. Think
He may
about
have
it.
to
Yeah.
kick it, Ryan.
Milton was a starter and he lost his job because he could not throw. He wasn't accurate. Short
the
throws
reason.
he had a problem with. The deep pass, he could just throw it a mile, but who was he hitting?
Yeah, I mean it's
Right,
easy, and then plus it's
we
easy
go
in
on-
combines just to
Before
throw.
we go on, my boy
Nobody's
Chase, he
right.
got a split, man. Chase,
Oh.
man, before you get out of here, man, give me a grade overall for free agency so far for the Falcons.
Yeah, I've been looking at a bunch of grades here recently, from Mike Palacio to other reporters, and the Atlanta Falcons have all graded in the A, whether that be an A minus, A plus, but it's definitely been an A. Me personally, I would say it was an A. If I had to pick my favorite signing, I think my favorite signing was Nate Landman. That was a pick that I thought you had to go out and get. Nate Landman on day one was what I was expecting. Instead, we got a long snapper re-sign on day one, and then with Liam McCullough. So that was a good sign there as well. But overall, man, they have hit. They went and got Mooney, a guy that's going to be possibly your receiver two here in Atlanta this following season. Put up 1,200 yards the year before the Bears acquired DJ Moore. His season with DJ Moore was still 500 yards. So only thing I could say Mooney needs better help on would be his separation. Mooney needs to get a little more separation for my comfort. I think they've really hit, though, man. You look at some of the pieces they brought in here. You look at the Ray McLeod move, and then the trade with Desmond Ridder for Moore from the Cardinals. These are all speedsters. Your receiver room has upgraded tremendously from one last year to this year. You no longer have to worry about who's going to be in the slot. You got speed all over the field. Special teams with Ray McLeod returning with the split of Cordell Patterson. Shout out to Cordell, man. Much love to Cordell. Ray McLeod's going to fill that spot nicely. D. Alford obviously has taken returns at special team spots. So, I mean, it's going to be good camp battles. Your receiver room is going to be a room to watch when it comes to training camp. Quarterback room's another room to watch. Like you said, maybe you go and you stack up that quarterback room, because we've seen what Taylor Heineke can do. And me personally was not too pleased with sticking with Taylor Heineke at number 2. Maybe you go make a splash. Like you said, you could get that guy Travis, man. You get Travis in the 3rd or 4th round, a guy that was on the road to be the Heisman winner, and I believe he wins Heisman if he stays healthy that season. So a lot of good options here in this draft when it comes to receiver, defensive tackle, whether that's edge or center, Joe Alt at tackle. There's so many spots that you can go in this draft, man, regardless of what happens. I will give free agency a solid A. And I think the draft's going to be exciting, man. It could be trade back scenarios, or we could sit at 8 and like we said, take that guy at 8 that you've been studying for 3 to 4 years to come and really soul in. And to the comment about the Super Bowl, man, I'm with Smitty. You can definitely take this thing all the way. If Kirk Cousins, like you said down here, Cage talked about, if Kirk Cousins can be the regular season Kirk Cousins in the playoffs, Kirk Cousins can steal the show and really light some stuff up here in Atlanta. So with that being said, man, I don't mean to ramble on, but shout out to y'all guys for having me on the podcast tonight. I appreciate Chris, Smitty. You guys
throw your channel out, man, White, before you head out. Throw your channel out again.
So you can catch me at Dirty Fanatics United on YouTube. We're at 339, I believe it is, on subscribes.
Let's get them to 500, folks. Let's get them to 500.
If we can hit 350 before the end of this month, man, we're going to give away a free Atlanta Falcon ticket. So hit the subscribe button.
See that? Look at that.
And that's what I'm saying, man. We got free stuff to give away, man. So holler at us. We're going to get you a ticket. We're going to give away jerseys, hats. That's Dirty Fanatic United on YouTube, Facebook groups, TikTok. The handle for that is DFU_ATL, man. Much love to y'all, boys. Have a great show. Appreciate y'all.
Hey, man, before you get out of there, man, you got a Popeye coupon too, man, because I love chicken.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
Appreciate y'all, bro.
It be that right there.
I just hit that subscribe button for you, bro. Had to.
Say that again.
I just hit the subscribe button for him. I thought I was subscribed to his channel. I've watched some of his shows. Definitely got some damn good content. Bro.
Great content.
Just like what y'all put out, man.
And speaking of content, Check Down, brand new channel. He was on Roberto last week, man. Please go check out Steven on Check Down, man. Check him out on YouTube, on Twitter, and please follow him because he's a new one of the new Dirty Bird content creators. We always trying to lift each other up, man, because that's what we do.
That's what it's all about.
Let's get to these grades right quick, man. We might as well start the elephant in the room, Mr. Kirk Cousins.
I like the move. I understand why the move was made. If you think about what the goal is, Blanton getting older, he wants to win a ring. Raheem knows he's in a win now situation.
Yep.
You have no idea if you traded up for a rookie quarterback, if he was going to be ready, if he was going to be good enough to get you there. Because you can look at the 49ers, they traded for Trey Lance, didn't work out. Just wasn't, especially he was very raw on top of that. But you had to get the most sure thing you could. And they clearly didn't believe Justin Fields, I guess, with that move was good enough to get them there. So I would give the move with an A. You had to get your quarterback. I know people like they say feel like the money's too big, but at the end of the day, that's what quarterbacks go for. The thing is the game, people getting paid more and more. So we're gonna see crazy numbers, think that's insane, but that's market. That's market price.
Facts.
So biggest thing from him is just as long as he's healthy, he has experience with a lot of weapons. He just had Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, in Minnesota. So and they have had big numbers, and and Justin about to get paid big money. So he knows how to definitely use his talent. That's why I'm excited for Drake London and the rest of the guys and whoever else we add to the receiver.
Because KJ Osborne just got paid by the Patriots, so he did.
Exactly. So as much as you give heck to him, Kirk Cousins. Listen, before he got hurt, he got what 18-5 before he got hurt.
Yep.
It wasn't him.
One in the league in touchdown passes at that point.
He wasn't playing bad, and that's what you need. They want to get back to that high-powered offense that they were under, especially that 2016 year under Matt Ryan, where we were one of the best offenses in the game. So they think they could do that again with Kirk. So I give it an A.
Facts. Travis, can y'all see us straight down going out to Chop Robinson? I could see it. His 4th time at the combine reminded me of Michael Parsons in 2011. I agree with that, but trading down to go get him, no. I think if he's there, if they go a different route in the first round, I can see them trading back up into the first round to go get him at the bottom of the first if he's there. I agree about the 40 time, but Michael Parsons is a different animal, man. Let's just keep it real. This dude, man, stupid athletic ability, athletic freak. He can play end, he can play linebacker here, he can play safety if he wanted to.
He was a running back in the state of PA up here in Philly.
Right.
He was one of the top running backs in each state. So that should tell you about the man's athletic ability.
He only played linebacker because he liked to hit people.
That's it. He just wanted to hit people.
And he figured out, his coach told him, he said, you'll get more money playing defense than you will offense. And he said he was glad that he listened.
See that?
You damn sure
sometimes they gotta listen to them coaches, man. Just sometimes they know what they talk about. Sometimes
Miss Sarah say, just remember, Kurt was bought back in 2018 as a missing piece. Kurt didn't even make the damn playoffs. Well,
she's absolutely right. She absolutely right about that.
But that's true. But I'm gonna keep it real with you, Miss Sarah. Look, every coach is different. They always got their way of putting their little change on things. So what if Zach Robinson be that missing piece for Kirk Cousins to take his game to the next level? And I think that's what's gonna happen. Because guess what? If they go wide receiver this draft, no matter what happens in 2 years with Drake London, they still gonna have a receiver from this draft in 2 years.
They will.
So, and they can keep building the team. All they need is Kurt. That 2 to 3 year window, they gonna make it count. So trust me, I know you absolutely right. They did not make the playoffs, but you gotta have faith that Zach Robinson can take Kirk Cousins to the next level.
Right. That things are going to work out for us. You know, right. It's our time. You know, it's time for things to work out for the Falcons. We've had so many things go wrong that eventually something just has to go right. Correct. You know, especially you just keep trying, just keep working, keep grinding. Something eventually has to pop out for you if you just keep your head down and keep trying to improve. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. As far as like my grades, I know before when we was having the mock, I had kind of gave it an A, but as I dial things back and I take a step back and look, I give it a strong B with the possibility of an A plus. And one reason how you could possibly get to that A plus is if things do pan out for the Falcons and Hassan Reddick, you're able to make a reasonable trade to keep at least your top 3 picks. And we're assuming that we're still going to have all those. You keep your top 3 picks and possibly maybe the 79th, maybe go to the Eagles, or even better, maybe a 4th rounder. I would love that. But if that could possibly go, you know, then you're moving closer to that A plus. 2, you definitely have to draft well. You definitely have to draft well in order to push this up to an A. And Smitty, if I could have that graphic, please.
Let me see, can I find this it, is man? You know I be losing shit.
Hey man, I believe me.
You don't lose
this right
you don't
here.
Lose that far.
Yeah, if we can just get a full screen of everything that the graphic is showing. And
that's all I have.
Right there. Yeah, right there. So now, people, look at our last 3 quarterbacks versus Kirk Cousins. And I really could have threw a 4th quarterback in there, but I got too much love for that particular quarterback to even do him like that. But this is Desmond Ridder, Taylor Heineke, and Marcus Mariota's combined numbers, the 3 amigos versus Kirk Cousins since 2021. All I'm saying is look at the touchdowns, look at the interceptions, look at the QB rating, look at those yards. And if I add another player to this, it's only going to make Kirk Cousins' numbers better. This is what you're banking on. And if Kirk Cousins performs just like Smitty said, just like Ryan said, hell, the whole panel has said it. If he performs well, that's what makes it an A plus for me.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, that's a great breakdown, man. You absolutely correct. Just for the people who don't get it, who was that other name you were going to throw out?
Matty Ice.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
If I threw his numbers in there, we still have a quarterback that did better than 4 quarterbacks. Are you serious?
ATLGA Faithful, man. Y'all go check him out on YouTube, man. That's my boy DC, man. The Brain Supreme doing his thing, man, on YouTube. He's getting up closer to 1,000, man. So y'all please go subscribe, man, and help him get up there. But yeah, that was an excellent point, man. Let's go to Darnell Mooney, man. What y'all think?
Oh, Mooney.
I was skeptical at first. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna just keep it 100. But as I look back at his skill set, and then I look at a KJ Osborne in Minnesota, similar skill set, but Darnell Mooney is a little bit faster. Darnell Mooney is a punt returner. He's a kick returner. So when they signed him, that made me think about, hey, we might be looking at a field position thing with this guy. Because he's going to give you field position one way. He's going to catch a bomb down the field. He's going to be a run out to the catch guy, or he's going to get a punt return or a kick return to give you field position. So
we're not using him as a special teams guy, Smitty. I can tell you that now. We're not going to use him as a special teams guy. We're going to use Ray McLeod as a special teams guy. Because Darnell Mooney, and the reason I'm saying
on kickoff.
That's what I'm saying. Here's the thing. The reason I'm saying this is because we rarely get kick returns now because of how the game is set up special teams wise. Luckily, Cordell Patterson was able to break that record. But now that they've changed that, you're going to use Ray McLeod as your punt returner. 7 to 10 yards of an average for Ray McLeod. It'll get better. It'll get better. But let's just be real. I said this, and I've been saying this for the longest. When we lost Avery Williams, we lost the 3rd phase of the game when you talk about a returner. because
Right.
Avery Williams was a spark. And he wasn't just a kick returner. He played running back, and he also was a cornerback. So he was a Swiss Army knife as a football player, not just a running back, a football player. Now you have Ray McLeod, who definitely is a solid return man, and he would be brought in for depth for that wide receiver position, and they'll have packages for him because of the speed that he possesses. So I think that
you're
you
gonna
got
have
your
tweets and all that in that arsenal. Trust me.
You got to utilize that speed. You remember Tutu Atwell? I'm just saying.
But he a little bigger than Tutu Atwell, though. He's a little bit bigger than Tutu.
Yeah, Tutu.
And here's the other thing.
Yeah, popsicle stick.
Yeah, I'm just saying part of speed, purely speed here. Purely speed.
Well, here's the thing. Mooney is a 4.35 guy. So when you talk about Mooney, like Smitty was saying, go back and look at his Tulane days when he actually had a real quarterback throwing to him in college. Go back and look at him in his rookie year when he was in Chicago ripping it up when he had Trubisky, who our old offensive coordinator destroyed because he had, I'll say this.
And he had Nick Foles up there throwing the ball.
Exactly. He had Nick Foles where Nick Foles had him looking amazing. But let's just be real. When they started having changes in that front office, when you started letting valuable pieces go, you saw a playoff team, because Chicago was a playoff team a few years before they started, falling downhill, before they got Trubisky and passed up on Mahomes. They got rid of Roquan Smith. You look at that. They had a top team, and Mooney was a key piece to that. Mooney was him and Allen Robinson were key pieces to that offense. But I'm just saying, before he got hurt, he was nice with it in that offense.
He was, though. He was.
And think about it. Mooney has somebody in Drake London. He's got Kyle Pitts. If Pitts actually runs his routes right and actually plays hard, I'm still staying on his ass. I don't care what you say. It's contract year. He better show up. But you got all these weapons that are around you, and then you got your boy out of the Cardinals, Rondale Moore. That is your Taylor Gabriel right there. He's just a little bit stronger than Taylor Gabriel. But the speed is
5'7", about 185, about 180, 185. But boy,
he's not before we signed him, that's what I was thinking for Mooney. Before we signed Moore, I was like, okay, Mooney. I was like, you're gonna be like the number 2, but you're probably using the slot. Then boom, there go Rondale. I said, oh, never mind.
and just think about it, bro. If we're gonna put a grade out there, I gotta give him a B+. And the reason I say B+ is because we still have to see this stuff transition on the field. I'm not giving them an A. You got to bring what's on that paper to life. Now, I told y'all a long time ago I wanted Fields to come, but I support who rocks this logo. That's why he's behind me. I'm not going to sit there and trash the man that's leading my squad. Now, there was a commenter in the section or whatnot that, and it's not hate or nothing like that, and it's just being real, dog. She has a point because of his playoff record. But when has Atlanta had a winning season? The last winning season we had was 2017. We've gone 6 years without a winning season. And we've had chances to win ball games, but Arthur Smith pissed that away in many games. Obvious games that he's pissed it away. That's why he's no longer here. But hey, a lot of people aren't happy with the quarterback spot. It's what it is. It's like, look, you either supporting the team or you just pretty much a casual fan. When we say if we survive the Jeff George years, the Bobby Hebert years, the freaking Joey Harris
I resent that. Bobby Hebert was a good quarterback.
Man, you can resent that all you want to. just because you tell a pig to take a bath don't mean he's gonna get out of the slop. Let's just be real on that.
Right.
We've been in a situation where the last time we signed an old quarterback was Chris Chandler, and they actually had a team that they put things together, and we went to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that that's gonna happen. It'd be nice if we can rekindle that, coming up this year.
All we got to do, let's keep it real. All we got to do is hit that stride at the right time at the end of the season.
Just get into this. Is it here? It's just
like right now.
It's just like March Madness. Just get into the playoffs because you don't know what's gonna happen. Because you look at some of the teams that were in the playoffs. Philly was washing through people, even though they were trash. They get to the playoffs and get upset. So And I'm just saying, Detroit came out of nowhere. We knew Detroit was competitive, but they just stayed hot all year. And when they played
they
the
hit that stride at the
49ers,
right time.
they just they fizzled out. But if we can survive, and this is my thing, if you have not been a Falcons fan,
their coach just made some dumb decisions. Just keep it real.
But here's the thing: most of our fans didn't come along until Michael Vick was here. Let's keep that a buck. Most of these fans that's talking about the quarterback spot didn't come till Vick. I've been a fan since 1991. I'm 37, so I was a young buck when I became a Falcon fan. Andre Rison and Scott Case, Oliver Barnett playing that defensive tackle spot. You got Brian Jordan, former Atlanta Braves / Atlanta Hawks, patrolling. And then you had Tim McKyer on the other corner side, on the other corner. So for
Javon Demery.
Javon Demery. You had Steve Broussard at running back, Jamie Dukes, Deion Sanders, homeboy at center. And and then you had Mike Ken at that tackle spot, old fake. So I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. So for everybody that's in here saying this right here, man, we done went through some of the worst times that you could think about as Falcon fans. So the Michael Vick era was not just
Dave Archer. I remember when he was the quarterback. That's how
exactly.
Hey man, I'm just saying we still had Byron Leftwich on the team. Y'all wasn't with us in the gym.
Arthur Smith had a chance to get him as offensive coordinator, and he passed on that.
That was crazy.
Yeah, but getting back to it, Smitty, my point is we got a lot of folks that's upset about the pick. A lot of us, we was upset about it, but here's the thing. Just because you get in the chats, you watch the content, and you complain or whatever, it's not going to change the fact that ink is dry and direct deposit has already hit this man's account. So he already got his paycheck. So he's going to be here regardless of you want him here or not. So it's all about logo business, dog. If you're going to support. But if you're going to sit there and be a half-ass fan, it is what it is. Keep that bullshit on. Excuse my French, Smitty. I'm sorry. But it's just
no.
It's still
it's always bullshit going on.
But it's frustrating, dog. We all mad about everything that went on. We don't like some of the think about it. We didn't like us passing up on Todd Gurley and grabbing Vic Beasley. Let's keep that.
I'm mad about that, but I understand.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I was mad.
I was hot about that.
We needed a pass.
I'm gonna keep it real. I was even mad about they didn't go up and get Khalil Mack back then.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and just think about it. We've had, they believed in Vic Beasley. They believed in the Bible thumper. I said, dude was going to fizzle out within a year. He had one good year. And that's when I say the scouting department has to get better. And I understand why most of the Falcon fans are pissed off. We all got a right to be pissed off because we've had mediocrity since 1966. Let's just be real. Since the day of the Atlanta Falcon exception, we've been mediocre as an organization. The Smiths didn't want Rankin Smith and them boys didn't want to spend money. And they didn't draft out of their own backyard. And then you get Arthur Blank that comes along. He don't mind wasting money, but he's wasting money on the wrong players.
Right.
But that happens when you got a McKay leading your office or whatever, being your CEO and not letting general managers do their job. But hey, we ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole because it'll be on tomorrow night, dog. I just know it's gonna be some hot shit tomorrow night on the Birdcage.
Hey, man, I might have to come through there because
getting
I
pretty
got
hot.
some Ryan, man. One thing about Ryan, he a little X-rated sometimes, but I get it. Trust me, I get it. But Bryce, man, we ain't mean to cut you out, man. When we get to rolling, we just be going.
Nah, bro, yeah.
But the three receivers that they named, give me your grade on those guys.
I'll go B+2. I've been a big fan of Rondell Moore since he came out of Purdue. I remember watching him at Purdue. He's just a guy who can kind of break the game open with his speed, can kind of do a lot of different things. If you want to use him as like a gadget player, you can. He could be a really good slot. I mean, that's one thing that I feel like the Falcons haven't had the last few years is a solid slot receiver, realistically. We've kind of just, Arthur Smith's, Drake, Pitts, not really much after that, because he's gave us pretty crappy wide receiver rooms during his tenure here, outside of just the top guys. So, I feel like that was a really good pickup for us. I was excited for that. Obviously, Darnell, I was a fan of his too. I think I saw a statistic the other day. I can't remember, but I think it was like top 5 in not getting a target but having separation, which, you know, if we want to look at that as an indictment on Justin Fields or whatever, but, you know, he would be open and need to get the ball. I think, you know, especially we play in a dome that allows him to use his speed more. You know, there's not any, he hasn't to do with any of the weather elements. You know, it's going to be a track meet every time he gets out there. So I think those two moves are really, really solid. We'll see if Darnell actually ends up being the number 2 guy. You know, like I said, they could draft a guy potentially because there's plenty of really good receivers in this draft. This is a very strong wide receiver draft. So even if you don't get one in the first, you can get a solid one in the second. I've seen a lot of people mention Lad McConkey as a potential guy that they could pick up just because he's been making waves with the way he's been just killing people in workouts. And then we've seen some of the Georgia tape. Obviously, Georgia fan, you know, you've seen what he can do. So I think realistically, you know, it's interesting to kind of look at, you know, what is Zach Robinson's plan for those guys? What is this offense going to look like? You know, obviously he just came off being with Sean McVay, having Puka Nacua, having Cooper Kupp, and using those guys. You know, obviously you may look at Darnell and you may look at Rondell and think they're not the exact players like them, but because those guys are more deceptive. I think Cooper and Nacua is. They're more deceptive. You know, they're really strong route runners. You know, where Darnell and, you know, Rondell, you know, they're good route runners, but they also have, you know, like I said, the speed element. So, you know, I think that's one thing we've lacked is clearly speed in the receiver room outside of maybe like Damiere Byrd for like 1 year. I mean, Scotty Miller was supposed to be fast, but, you know, it's just Scotty Miller. So it's one of those things where I think realistically, I think it was a B+ because I think they really added speed, they added some dynamicness to the offense too. Because like I said, Arthur Smith really liked the jump ball guys, the tall guys. And I think, like I said, it'll be interesting to see how they're used and how they're utilized within this offense and how they can maybe use that to create mismatches against the defense. And, you know, that also could help guys like Kyle Pitts. That could also help guys like Drake London because you never know. You send Rondell Darnell down the field, that opens up the middle of the field. Pitts comes across. Now he's open. He's able to get catches. And obviously we hope that, you know, he should be healthy. We know that, you know, him and Kurt already been talking. I'm sure they're going to get some work in. So there's definitely a lot of people who can benefit from this because I think that's one thing that, like I said, we've seen the last couple of years is that just the fact they haven't really been able to stretch the field because Arthur Smith wanted to play that methodical game. But then the problem is that you have many more plays, especially when you got a guy like Desmond Ridder. That's many more plays he can create a turnover. So, you know, you gotta be able to, you know, really fit whatever identity they're going for. We're gonna kind of get a more clear picture over the next few months, and I think Darnell and Rondell were the first step in showing that. And then obviously Ray McLeod, we know special teams wise, he's gonna do some big plays. Don't be surprised he comes in for a play. He's in the backfield. He gets good toss pitches, things like that. Try to get him in space because as you can see, they really want to take advantage and really utilize their talent that they have on this roster.
Ooh, look at that informative mind by the man, Bright. Special guest tonight. That's what we love right there.
Hey man, he broke that thing down like a rotisserie chicken.
Man, what you talking about?
What is up with you and chicken tonight, dog?
Man, bro, I'm trying to tell you, in a minute, I'm gonna have to go ahead and just get Smitty on the
Man, if you if you would have said maybe a plate of some oxtails or some neck bones or some collard greens, I'd have been cool.
Bro.
But you keep just throwing chicken out there, man.
Chicken is my thing, man. If y'all didn't know, chicken is my thing. That's all I gotta say.
Do you at least eat oxtails? That's the question. Do you at least eat other meats that are smothered in gravy? And I ain't talking about white gravy. I'm talking about brown gravy.
No, brown, right.
Okay, excuse me, people. Are we talking pig skin or plate?
Oh yeah.
Hey man, you got me missing K&K Soul Food. I know I throw down in the kitchen up here, man. You know, I'm up here in Philly, so you know I'm always cooking, you know, neck bones, things like that. You know, when I want my Sunday dinners and stuff, you know, I got to eat healthy,
right?
You know, promote good health and mental health as well, ladies and gentlemen. Always,
baby.
But every once in a while, you gotta have that soul food plate. You know what I'm saying? Good old
yeah, no doubt about that. Oh yeah, that's why I got it.
RJ, what's up, bro?
Bad,
I'm sorry,
bad, man.
Shout out to the good MOB, man. If y'all looking for residuals, I'm a broke black man. I can't give them to you. I'm sorry. I'm just supporting the movement. But just being honest, man. I think he broke it down very well, and you look at how the Falcons are moving, And this is something that we've talked about. Me and Tip talked about this off the record after we did the last show. We said hands down, they're going to probably build up the quarterback room and a lower draft pick just to have depth and competition in there.
Right.
But we're going to go defense heavy in this draft.
Yeah.
You got to, because all those 1 year, think about it, all those 1 year deal guys are out of the door. They signed Kadavius Street. Another kid that gets forgotten about is that defensive tackle out of Illinois. That is a guy that keeps getting. That is a guy who gets forgotten about. And when you look at it, if you don't go edge, you need to have somebody that's going to be in there with Grady. You have to have somebody that's going to be in there with Grady. His name's Jazarn Newton. He's a guy that's got good feet, strong at the point of attack. And think about it. Now, we all love Grady. Grady's been solid, but he's had a knee injury. He's getting older. We've paid him. The question is, how long is he going to be around in Atlanta? You've got to have his replacement.
Probably 1 more year at least.
But let's just be real. I hate the New Orleans Saints. I can't stand them bastards. You know,
and they might end up going to get him. Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to be real with you, man. You know, that stadium looked like a toilet bowl. You can just sit down on it and take a dump. But I'm going to get back to my point. But, you know, that's Saint hating right now. I'm taking my Kirk Cousins hate and turning it towards the enemy. That's how you should do it. I'm just being an example, as they would say. But, but being real, though, I really believe you got to draft. If you don't draft Matthews' replacement in this draft, you've got to get Grady's replacement in this draft if you don't go edge. And I'm saying this because
I said this and me and Chris talked about
last
this.
year.
Me and Chris talked about this. If you're gonna go in that direction, you might as well go Byron Murphy if you trade back.
I mean, you can do that, but then you also got that kid Mingo out of LSU that you can go down that route too.
Yeah,
quiet sleeper that nobody talks about. Mingo is a 300-pounder that can actually. You know, he's a dump truck. He can take up 2 tackles, and he's done that when he was at LSU. So if you go in that direction to start replacing your aging players, well, you're not replacing them now, but if you're getting ready to start replacing them, start bringing those young guys in so they can learn these habits now. So when they start getting filtered in, they get used to it, and once they get used to it, that's when they take over. Once these older guys leave, so. You've got to start planning for the future. And that if you ever look at Philadelphia, San Francisco, and these teams, they draft their young guys, and guess what they do? They sit.
Yeah,
they sit. Low out of UGA would definitely be a solid piece. He's a good role player, but I think that they could probably get the best out of him if he does come to Atlanta because of what he can do. But Lowe was sitting behind Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. So it wasn't much he could do.
Yeah. It was.
But man, before we get out of here, man, great show. Yeah, always love the topics of discussion, man. And I want to thank Bryce for coming through, man. Ryan for coming through, sitting in for Berto, man. I truly appreciate it. And before we get out of here, man, tell everybody where to find y'all again. We're going to start with Bryce, and then Ryan, you tell them where you from, and we're going to roll on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all can catch me Twitter, my YouTube, Bryce_2K for all, like I said, do believe in Hawks podcast for the Believe Podcast Network, covering them throughout the season, off season. Also do Falcons content. I'm expecting to have Dave Archer on next week, so y'all need to subscribe for that. Hopefully, I can get my boy Steve Weish back on there. So got a couple of hard-hitting guests.
We talked to Ovi, man. Tell Ovi, I said, man, he need to come on back on the show, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Hey, what's going on?
Yes, sir. So, I definitely subscribe, tune in. Appreciate opportunity to be on here talking Falcons with you guys. Really love all y'all insights, man. Hopefully get to maybe hop on one of y'all shows. Y'all hop on my show maybe in the future. Maybe hop back.
Sure. So you just tell Will, I'm coming for him, bro. Will, that's my dude, man. Will, my dude. Okay. Ryan, go ahead, man.
Hey, man, you already know where y'all can catch me Thursday nights. Tomorrow night's going to be another good show, something like this right here. 8 p.m. It's called the Birdcage LLC. You either get right or you get left. We don't just do Falcon football. We have We talk mainly Falcon football, but we have our interview segment called On the Perch. We've had 2 NFL Hall of Famers to come through, Dwight Stevenson, Larry Little. We've had welterweight champs to come through, Nate the Galaxy Campbell Warrior. April the 11th, for my Falcon fans, we have Coach Mike Smith coming through. It has been confirmed. We have Coach Mike Smith, the winningest coach in Falcons history, coming to the Birdcage April the 11th.
Oh, yeah.
And outside of him, we've also had some HBCU legends, because I saw some folks talking about HBCU legends in the crowd. We've had Coach George Williams, 39 national championships, 4 Olympic, more Olympians than you could think of he's coached. We've had Coach Bill Hayes to come through, 2 national championships at the HBCU level, 7 different Hall of Fames. Joe Taylor, 5 national championships at Hampton University. Shout out to those Hampton boys, but you know, it is what it is. But we have a lot of content for you guys to come through and a lot of interviews to check out, man. Billy White Shoes Johnson has come through. Terrence Mathis has come through. We're still trying to get our list together. We and Daniel Flick. Shout out to our guy Daniel Flick or whatnot.
Yeah,
saw what he's doing.
My nephew, man. Daniel out doing big thing, man. And
love the support for Daniel today. Love the support for Daniel on Twitter.
Y'all, please let me say this, man.
Daniel ain't just some random.
Please stop downing these folks, man. They getting out doing these jobs, man, the best they can. Trust me, these jobs are not easy, man. I tell y'all that all the time. Getting in front of this camera not easy. Traveling, talking to national media, being national media, that's one of the hardest jobs in the world, man. And Daniel's a young cat, man. Daniel probably only 21 years old. So y'all got to give him a break, man. Let him grow and let him be great. You know, stop downing the kid.
Yep. So, Falcons community, we got his back. Because he been hitting the pavement.
Oh yeah, we got his background here, man.
Provide great information to us.
I told
him we'll do the same thing, you know, for anybody that's out there putting in dues. It's not just Daniel. If anybody else is putting in dues for the Atlanta Falcons, we recognize you. We going to ride for you. People talk noise about our fan base all the time. We just want winners and competent people who are gonna give us the best information for our team. You do that, we got you. I promise you, we got you.
But Bryce, Miss Lisa Shepard from Blog and Dirty, she says she needs to get your socials again.
Yes, sir. Bricey_2K, BRICEY_2K. It's all my socials, YouTube, everything like that. So definitely appreciate any love and support for sure.
Thank you, Miss Lisa, for asking that, man. But again, man, we've had a great show, man. Always fun kicking it with y'all. But Tip, man, before we get out of here, man, tell everybody where to find you and tell them why they got to be great.
Hey, man, you already know. Be generational because it's always time to be. Don't you settle for less because you can always have more with the vision. Please come on over to A1 Forever Sports, the show that's cool and fly too on YouTube. Catch me on Twitter. Catch me on Instagram and TikTok at, you know what I'm saying, A1 Forever. Well, TikTok is the real A1 Forever. And we do Atlanta Hawks, Atlanta Braves, Atlanta Falcons. We try to dibble-dabble into some college, man. We just looking to expand this platform as far as it can go. The sky's the limit. And honestly, I got big dreams. So small stuff just won't work out for me. And of course, my last name is Moore, so ain't no way I'm selling for less. And you shouldn't either. That goes for each and every one of you. That's not just for me. That's for each and every one of you guys. So, man, just continue to be great. 2024 is growing season for each and every one of you guys.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, go out here and be great, man. That's all I can say to you guys, man. And shout out.
I want to give a shout out to Miss Sarah, man, in the chat. She been a good sport, man. She was, you know, trash talking, and I get that. That's what fans do. So, you know, thank her for being a good sport about it, man. No love lost around here. It's all love. Like, we always try to spread love around here, man. So, shout out to Miss Sarah. Shout out to Miss Diva CC, Miss Lisa Shepard. We got the Falconettes in the house tonight, man. The Falcon ladies, man, they know how to talk football, man. And what the Lady Bird gang over at AFN, man, they do their thing. The ladies over there, Miss Maggie T, she does her thing, man. So shout out to her for getting the ladies together every week and talking Falcons football, man.
This
y'all
is good
please
stuff.
Go check out. No doubt. No doubt. But y'all know where to find me, man. Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube, Twitter at FatBoySlim_21, and I'm always on Twitter blowing up the internet because that's what I do. And guess what? My chicken just got ready, so I definitely got to get out of here.
Lord have mercy.
You know what? This must be a
Chase
good
too as
night.
well.
Boy.
Shout out
Hey,
to the boy
chicken
Chase
just
from
got
Dirty
done.
Fanatic United.
I
too,
forgot, man.
Yep.
I'm sorry, man. I got to say this. Shout out to my boy Berto, man. Mr. 95 North Falcons Talk Show. Man, go show him some love on Bleacher Report, man, in the Falcons community tab. Please check out his videos when you drop them. Please comment. And trust me, it goes towards him pulling that job in full time, man. So please go check out 95 North Falcons Talk Show on YouTube and check out Berto on Bleacher Report. And I don't know when he's going to come back on here to tell y'all that. But again, he'll be back soon, man. Had to take some time off, man. Work calls, duty calls. And y'all know we got to pay them bills, man. That's just how life
them bills, baby.
But
I wish the
Ryan,
Super Bowl would come as fast as these damn bills come for us, man.
Yeah.
Hey, it's coming, bro. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Trust me.
And as much as I hate, I love them Southern Jaguars, but I got to give it's a different sport, but we always recognize HBCUs. I told you I stand 10 toes down in the paint in it, because without them, all these sports and all these teams that you see wouldn't be filled with great talent. So they were the first to give us something. So shout out to that. Grambling State University won tonight in their tournament. That was their first ever tournament win. So I hate. I love my Southern Jaguars, and I hate Grambling like I hate the Florida Gators. But here's the thing: I'm always gonna pull for them HBCUs in the tournaments, baby.
And shout out to my homegirl Keisha Kelly, man. Black College Experience. Y'all please go check out on Twitter and Instagram at Black College Experience. She's always all over the nation doing HBCU shows, man. She's
wonderful
at the tournament this year, so she's expanding Black College Experience. So please go check out, man. Y'all gonna see her in the big time soon, man. But as I said, man, shout out to Ryan from the Bird Cage, my boy Bruce Bryce from Believe Sports, Believe Atlanta, Hawks, Falcons, Braves. Trust me, go check him out. He knows his thing, man. Watching him 1,000 times. My boy Chris A1 Forever, man, who stay on my case night and day.
Got to.
What? He's my little bro. He's my little bro. And again, thank y'all in the chat for tuning in, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna roll on out of here, man, because it's time to go get that 8-piece. I'll holler.
I'm gonna have to do something too. Dang.